Hello, hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. It is time for our master class. It's time for our master class for today. As you're coming in, say good afternoon to me. I'm pulling up the comments now so that way I can have it. Say good afternoon. Hello, Miss Judy. How are you? Thanks for tuning in today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I wonder, do I need to take this out because it keeps making noise? How are you? How are you? For those of you who are tuning in for the very first time, good afternoon. My name is Portia Williams, also known as the Student Success Coach. And what I do is I help grades K through 5 parents confidently speak up on their child's behalf without being seen as the angry parent so that they can help their child achieve academic success. And so that is my mission, that is my goal. Each and every Wednesday here during our masterclass, I really want to be able to help you take charge of your child's academic success. One of the things that I know based upon my background in education, also in my career, right? In my studies, and then in my personal life. One of the things that I know is that parents have to take charge of their child's academic success. You can't wait on teachers. You can't wait on admin at your child's school, right? You can't even wait on your child's doctor or primary care doctor or even their pediatrician, right? You can't wait on anybody else when it comes to helping your child achieve academic success. It's really on you. All right, it's on you. Good afternoon. Thank you again for tuning in. And so that's my mission each and every Wednesday is to make sure that I'm sharing with you all, with you moms, with you dads, those who are guardians. I want to make sure that I'm sharing with you the tools that's going to help you take charge of your academic success. Okay. And so that's what we do here on Wednesdays. I do have a program, an 8-week program entitled the Speak Up program, where I work with parents one on one. And so in our 30-minute masterclass, right, it's challenging for me to work with 250 something parents individually about what their child is experiencing academically, right? It's just really impossible for me to do. But I do have a program where I work one on one with parents and to work with them and to teach them how to help their child achieve academic success. And so I have that available. If you want more information about that, I'll put the link in the comment section below. If you want one-on-one help, if you're like, I love master classes, but I need you to come in the back office of my house, I want you to come in my house and look and see what's going on so you can help me, I have that. Okay, I have that available. But nevertheless, let's get started with today's masterclass. Okay, and so if you haven't seen the title yet, it's entitled "What to Do When Homework Takes Too Long." What to do when homework takes too long. And one of the things that I know about so many parents, and it's unfortunate. One of the things that I know is that there are parents who are screaming at their child during homework time, especially when it's taking too long. All right. And so I know this to be true. I've seen it as an educator. I've even, in my studies, right, in my background in education, I've seen it. And then in my personal life, it was done to me. Okay. And so I know this to be true. I'm not making this up. I've even seen it in the grocery store and it had nothing to do with a child's academics, right? And so we know that I know that parents are screaming at their children. But this is what I want to share with you when it comes to homework, right? And again, I'm an academic coach, right? I help parents. I'm a parent coach and I work with them to help their child academically. I'm not a behavior coach and I am not advocating, how you discipline your child outside of academics. That's not what I'm here to do. But what I am here to do is to let you know that it's important to stop screaming at your child during homework time. It's important, very important. And so if you're taking notes, that's the first thing that I would be jotting down. Stop screaming at your child during homework time. And I'm about to run down why I say that, okay? But I want you to know that first, okay? That's number one. Stop screaming at your child during homework time, okay? And I want you all to remember, as your coach, right? As your coach to help you help your child achieve academic success, I got your back. That's number one. I got your back. I had a conversation last week with actually two educators. Actually, both of them are very good friends of mine. One of them is my goddaughter's mother, and the other one is like my homegirl from college. So we're very, very close. And they're both educators, right? And so one of the conversations we were having um, was about me and my job, right? Like what I do. And when we're having conversations, one of them is a parent, that's my goddaughter's mother, and then the other one isn't. She isn't a mom yet, but she will be. But she isn't a mom yet. And one of the things we were talking about is how I'm an advocate and how I stand in the gap for parents, right? Um, and I love it. And I was explaining to them that even though I'm a parent coach, right, and that is my job, I'm technically advocating for everyone. It's just the parent that I help. And so, as a parent coach, I'm telling you what teachers really wish they can say, or admin really wish they can say. But many of them don't because they're scared of you and what you might do if they say it. But the very thing that they're possibly scared to say is the very thing that can help you. So that's the first thing I want you to think about. And then I'm an advocate for you as a parent, but for your child. I'm the one speaking loudly where you might feel as disrespectful if they said these things to you, right? Or they don't have the capacity yet. They're like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. So they might not know these things, right? And so it might feel uncomfortable when I'm sharing these things, right? Especially if you're doing it. But the truth is, I'm your advocate. I'm winning. I'm shooting for you. Like I'm winning for you. And even though it might be tough, what I'm sharing, one is the truth, and two, it's going to help you. So it's a win-win for you. Okay? And so when I say stop screaming at your child doing homework, I don't say it because I just want to like say it. I don't want to beat you up and make you feel bad. No. I'm sharing this because one of the things that I know is that screaming at your child when they're doing homework probably isn't going to make them finish any faster. It Think about it. If you have been a parent and you're screaming at your child doing homework for whatever reason, and we're going to talk about the reasons in a minute. I got you. I promise. We're going to talk about what makes you scream at them. I got you. I promise. But if you look at the times that you have, right? Did it make them like put a move on it? Like, just think about it. Out of the last 5 times you could think of, did it make them put a move on it? Like, did it make them get the work done faster by you screaming at them? Often, most parents are going to say no. So that's number one. It doesn't really get what you want to happen. So it's really defeating the purpose of you doing it because it doesn't make the time go by faster. So that's number one. We talked about this in a masterclass before. I don't even know what my train of thought was about to be, but I just remember thinking about it. We talked about this in a masterclass before about pretty much doing something doesn't necessarily make the time go faster. By you screaming necessarily won't make the time go by faster. I have no idea what I was about to say. I thought about it, but I kept going and I should have just stopped and said it, but maybe it'll come back to me. I pray it does. If it's worth talking about, it'll come back. And so that's the first point though. I really want you all to consider that. Screaming does not make your child get the work done faster. And so that's number one. It probably won't do that. It probably won't do that. And if it does, we'll talk about that in a minute. if it does, the negative effect as well, okay? But that's number one. Often screaming at your child doesn't make them get the work done faster. And like, tell me, you have this is an open, an open place. Be honest with me. Put it in the comments. Is that the truth? Or can you say, no, I've seen it differently. Okay, so let me know. Let me know. Have you seen that to be true? That it doesn't make them get their homework done faster. It doesn't cut the time in half. All right, so let me know. One of the other things that I really want you to know, though, when it comes to screaming at your child doing homework, right? Screaming at your child, really screaming at him or her. Hey, Coach Chels, how are you? Thank you for tuning in. I'm good. I'm good. We're talking about some heavy stuff today. What to do when homework takes too long. And the number one thing that I just opened up with is to tell parents, stop screaming at your child during homework time. Like, stop doing that. Stop doing it, especially when it's taking too long. Stop. Stop doing that. And one of the reasons that I want to share, here's an additional one. Screaming at your child may not make them pay attention or comprehend what you're asking them. There's a big chance by you screaming, they're not understanding what you're saying. Like, they're still not getting it. It's a big chance that you screaming does not make them understand. It isn't making them comprehend what you're asking them. Screaming doesn't necessarily make someone pay attention. I thought about it. Like, if you're in a relationship that could be super toxic, right, and a person's screaming at you, can you really hear everything that they're saying? Probably you're thinking about how you feel, right? Like, why are you screaming? Number one. Number two, I'm not about to listen to you because you're screaming, right? And so it's the truth with your child. If you're screaming, right, during homework time and it's just taking too long, and that's one of the reasons why, like, it doesn't necessarily make them lock into what you're saying and catch every single word to listen to you. It doesn't. And so that's why I say stop screaming, because really it's almost like a waste of time, because it's not getting what you want. Like, it's not making them pay attention. It's not making them lock in. It's not making them hear you. Okay? And so that's my second point. One of the other reasons that I say this, right? Just stop, just stop, just stop, just stop, just stop screaming during homework time when it takes too long, right? Is because screaming at your child during homework time can cause them to be scared of you. It can cause them to be scared of you. Now, I know that I'm talking to some parents and that's their life goal and mission, right? That's what they want. You need to be scared of me. You want to put the fear of God in your child. And people say that, right? But it's really not the fear of God. It's the fear of the parent. So it's not even the fear of God. It's the fear of the parent. I know there are parents who that's their desire. Like, they think that that's good. Like, I want my child to be scared of me, because if they're scared of me, they're going to respect me. Right? Let me know. So that's one thing, right, that I know parents think. But I ask you to stop screaming at your child during homework time, because if your child becomes scared of you, they're being traumatized by you. They're literally in a traumatic situation. And so remember, I was talking about the toxic relationships. That could be happening with your child, that they're in a toxic relationship with you. And I talked about this a while ago. I wonder what class that was, because I keep thinking about that class. So this is my point. I was talking about that, right? Like that relationship between parents and a child. And if you're screaming at them during homework time and they've literally become scared of you, you could be creating an environment where they're traumatized by you. And there are so many adults in therapy right now going to counselors, and there are people who committed suicide because they grew up in toxic traumatizing, if that's a word, environments, and it had to do with their lack of success academically. They never felt like they were good enough, right? They never felt heard. They never felt seen. I mean, the list goes on. And so that's one point, right? That screaming at your child during homework time can literally cause them to be super scared of you, right? Which creates a traumatic experience. And if you're screaming at them all the time, every homework time, every day, 5 days out the week doing homework, they're traumatized. They're traumatized. And one of the things I know about children is when they're dependent on the child, when they are traumatized, it can cause them to be shaken up. They can be very shaken up. And so that's when you see kids who are crying when you start screaming at them. Truly, they're shaken up emotionally, right? They're shaken up. And so that's why they're crying. Um, and if they're shaken up and they're traumatized and they're scared, it's less likely that they're going to be able to think because their emotions are overriding their thinking capacity. I'm telling you, there are serial killers, and I'm not calling your child a serial killer because they won't be. And because you're here getting help, so they won't even have these problems. But they're serial killers because their emotions override their thinking. Madmen, they have been madmen because their emotions override their thinking. And so often, if a child's emotions is overriding their thinking, right, it's going to be less likely that they're going to be able to hear the question that you're asking them because they're scared and they're traumatized. And I'm gonna talk about this in a little bit, but if you've told your child that you're gonna whoop them, they're scared. You told them like, if you don't get this homework done, I'm gonna whoop you. I'm gonna whoop you behind. Then they're gonna be scared. More than likely, they're gonna be scared, and then they're gonna be traumatized, and then they're not gonna be able to think. Okay, and so I really wanted to make that very clear and plain because um, screaming at your child during homework time, it can cause them to literally be scared and traumatized and shaken up to the point where they can't think. And that's why you see them sitting there and you're like, I've asked you 50 times the same question, same simple question, 2 plus 3, and you keep telling me 4. Well, they can't think. More than likely, they're not able to think. But I bet you if you ask them how they feel right now after you screamed at them, they can tell you. They can tell you. And so I want you to know that. Like, help me, guys. Like, does that make sense? Does that make sense? I want to make sure that I'm providing you information that is also making sense and very clear to you about why I'm saying stop doing it. Okay? And so that's my third point. One of the other points that I wanted to make is that screaming at your child during homework time, it can cost you money that I feel like is unnecessary. It can. Like screaming at your child could literally cost you money that you don't even have to spend. And I say that because often when parents are super frustrated with their child with homework and they don't want to do it and they don't want to help them, they often go get help, which sounds amazing. It sounds great. And I do promote help, right? But often many parents get help because they don't feel like dealing with the issues with their child, right? And that help is often tutoring, right? And I know great tutors. Like one of the young ladies I was talking about earlier, who's my goddaughter's mother, is a tutor, and she's amazing, right? And she has great gifts. And so I'm not knocking tutoring. I've been a tutor in my past, and I also was tutored. So I'm not knocking tutoring. But what I am saying is that if you're at the point of frustration and you can't even do it. You can't even deal with your child with homework. You don't even want to deal with your child with homework, and you're going in the route of tutoring because you don't feel like doing it because so it's just too much for you. You're screaming and you just don't feel like doing it. That might seem like okay, it's a good help, but truly is you not being bothered with your child if that's the reason. Now, you might have another reason why you're getting tutored, and I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about if you are screaming at your child and you get to a point where you know you're like, I just can't do this no more. I'm frustrated. I'm going to go get a tutor to help you. You really could be wasting money because you could actually spend that money, right? Save that money, I should say. Save that money and teach your child and work with your child with a tool that's going to help you and them. You let go of your frustration and them actually have a parent relationship, well, a learning parent relationship, a learning relationship with their parent. And I'll talk about that in a minute, but I wanted to mention that because if you are getting tutoring because you just don't have the patience to deal with your child, that's not acceptable for me. And the reason I say that is because if anybody should be getting the credit for your child's academic success, it should be you. And I say this from an educator, I say this from a former tutor. You should be getting the credit for that. You should. It should be you. You. And so, I say that, right? I've said that. I really mean it. And you could save you some money. If you want to save some money, to this, you keep listening. But really screaming at them during homework time could be costing you. And then when you get to the point where you don't want to deal with it anymore, you could really be just wasting money, throwing money away when you could actually keep that money and just learn a tool, a little tweak on how you deal with your child, really, and learn a way that you can ask the questions that's going to help them get the answer, right? And we'll talk about that in a minute. But I wanted to say this before we finished. Screaming at your child during homework time is really pointless. It's pointless for real. That's what I was thinking. Remember I was saying about the class we had before. I was talking about how parents are going to the doctor and their doctors are asking them like what's causing your stress levels to be up, and most parents are saying their children. Most parents are saying their children. The child might be not doing well in school. For some parents, their child is acting up, whatever, in class. And the doctors are literally telling them, you're going to have to cut this stress out because it's literally making your blood pressure go through the roof. And there are parents on pills and medication because their children are not achieving academically. And they're stressed out. And so when I say screaming at your child is pointless, it's really pointless because I talked about this before. That's what I was trying to think about. It's running people's blood pressure through the roof. And you don't want that stress. It's pointless to be screaming. And this is from a person who screamed. I know how to scream very, very well. And so I'm telling you, it's really, really pointless. It's very pointless. I grew up in a household of screamers. I grew up in the household with screamers. So I learned how to scream in a very, very, very young age. And so I had to learn in my adult life how to not be a screamer, how screaming wasn't okay. And unfortunately, in many of our communities, it is, right? I know for the black community, there's a lot of people who that's just what they do. That's how they express themselves. A lot of it is from trauma, not ever being heard. And so that's deeper. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, it's really pointless and it really does more damage than good for your child and for you. Your health, I think, is the most important thing to look at with you. But with your child, their emotional and academic health, right? Their mental health, how they're gonna grow. Because as an adult, if somebody's screaming at you, you might be like, look, you better get out of my face. You might want to back up. Or you might just can brush it off like, look, you need to calm down. Or let them yell at you because you know they're having a bad day. But with children, they don't really know how to decompartmentalize like why they're being screamed at. There are people who grow up and they still don't know why their parents were mad with them. Okay, and so my phone just was ringing, and so I'm like, I know I heard my phone ringing behind me. Yeah. So put it back. So yeah, that's something that I want you to consider. But my job is to help you. My job isn't just to like, be like, these are all the things you're doing wrong. That's not my job. My job is to help you. And so one of the things that I know is critical and important, right? And if you do this, it's really gonna help you. All right. And so if you are a grades K through 5 parent, right? If you're a grades K through 5 parent, or you're a guardian, right, of a grades K through 5 student, right? And homework is literally taking entirely too long to do. And you can honestly say that when it takes long, you scream, right? Here is what I believe is going to be the best thing you can do, all right? And that is learning your child's learning style, all right? Learning your child's learning style. That is one of the best, if not the best, honestly, it is the best things that you can do if you want, good God, if you want your child's homework process, literally number one, to be cut in half. If you want homework time to be cut in half, learn your child's learning style. Learn their learning style. If you want your child to understand the questions you're asking them much more clearly, learn your child's learning style. Learn your child's learning style. Like literally learn how to ask them questions so that they can get what you're saying. If you're a parent and you're like, you're not opposed to having fun with your child doing homework. Like you're like, okay, if that's gonna help us get it done, then no problem. You want to learn your child's learning style because it's gonna create a fun atmosphere instead of dreadful. Like after you've gotten off of work and you've been there all day and you had to pick them up, make sure you're back on time on this side of town to pick them up and all of that. Like if you learn your child's learning style, it'll actually be fun and you'll catch yourself being like a big old kid with your child doing homework. And it'll be fun for you. And then it'll make you want to do it more. Like make you want to help them more. Right? I'm telling you, learning your child's learning style it's great benefits. But one of the other things that I'm telling you from experience, learning your child's learning style is going to save you money. It will save you money. Tutoring can be cut out, apps can be cut out, learning programs can be cut out if you learn your child's learning style. Again, I'm not against those things. I'm not against tutoring. I'm not against learning programs. I'm not against learning apps. But if you don't know how to effectively use them, if you just put them on there and you're not effectively using it in the right way, it's really not building a skill like it can be if you're not effectively doing it, right? And so the thing about tutoring, and I told you, my teacher friend we were talking about it, and she said out of her mouth, tutoring, which I know this to be true, but she said it, so I'm repeating it. Tutoring is not to be used continually. Tutoring is to level the child up academically and be done. That's it. That's it. It's like I don't know. I don't know why I thought of physical therapy. I hope this makes sense. I never had to go to physical therapy, and I pray I never will. I'm never going to physical therapy. But physical therapy is not to be used forever. It's to like help you and build you up, and then after a while they cut you off, right? If you're still having to continue to go, that means it's still some problems there that they feel like you need help with one on one. And so, and often a lot of people have to cut themselves off because they feel like one of my other teacher friends yesterday, she was going to a chiropractor and I asked her, and then she said it was $60 to see her chiropractor. I said, girl, you can pay me $60 and I'll tap dance all on your back. No disrespect to chiropractors. That's just my joke as a person who's not a chiropractor. Okay. And so, we were laughing about that, but her point was, I'm good. She felt like she was good. All right, I'm good. I'm gonna cut it off because I could save my $60. Now, if you're a chiropractor or know of a chiropractor, don't tell them we love them. But I'm just saying, So my point is, tutoring and the learning apps and everything, they're great for a time, right? But they're supposed to influence your child academically where they level up and they don't need it anymore. And I'm telling you, if you're still paying for tutoring and you're still using these resources, then it's a possibility that you could really be saving your money if you learned your child's learning style. I'm telling you, it literally helps you with the problem. You won't need a tutor if you learn your child's learning style, because you'll be able to ask them questions effectively. They'll be able to get the answers effectively because they're learning in a way that makes sense to them. Okay, and so that's my point for today. I talk a lot about the challenges aspect in the program. I talk a lot about the challenges aspect in a program, like how the learning style can help your child with their challenges, and I talk a lot about that in the program. And so, right, enroll for the program to learn more about that. And I'll put the link in the comment section below to do so. But I'm telling you all this because I'm not telling you this also because I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm telling you this because I've experienced it. I grew up in a household where my dad will start off great. He would start off super amazing, super duper great with homework. But it wouldn't take long before he switched up on me, and we went from asking questions nicely to him literally screaming at me. Okay? And I'm telling you all this because I know what it's like. I know what it's like to be like your child, sitting in at the kitchen table at home, and I'm being screamed at because I can't get it. Like, I'm just not understanding the question. By this time, my dad has definitely threatened me, told me don't ask him to go nowhere because since I can't get the homework, and on top of that, he definitely was threatening to whoop me. And a lot of times I got a whole whooping and had to go get the belt and get whooped and sit back down to do the homework on top of being whooped. It's like, that is terrible. At least whoop me and I don't have to do the homework no more. Now I have to sit here. And so I'm telling you all this that it was a challenge for me, right? That the answers just didn't come up for me. And there was some challenges that I had that was preventing me from getting homework done faster, from me understanding the problems, right? And it did take me a long time to get the homework done. But none of the tools that my dad was using at the time, right, made me come home the next day from school and get the homework done faster. So the whoopings, the punishment, the screaming, the yelling, it didn't make me come home. If today's Wednesday, on Thursday, after all that has happened, and get my homework done in 30 minutes, it didn't. It will be the same cycle the next day. We start off good, and then we go right into screaming, yelling, punishment, whooping, back to do the homework. And it's now 9 o'clock at night, and I still haven't got it done. And so I say that, parents, you have to stop. You have to stop screaming at your child during homework time if you are. If you are, you got to stop. And I'm telling you to stop screaming at your child during homework time because if you are, it's probably not going to make your child get the homework done faster, right? It's screaming at them is not making them comprehend more of what you're asking them, understand the information that you're asking them, or really be able to pay attention and focus in on what you're asking them. They're probably, by this time, if you're screaming at them, scared of you, traumatized, and super shaken up to the point where they're not able to think about the questions that you're asking them and the assignments and what they have to do, right? And then lastly, screaming at them, right, to the point where you don't even have patience anymore to work with your child. Literally, it's costing you money when you feel like you got to get a tutor, when you don't even have to spend that money per se, right? If you had patience and learned the tool that I taught you. But I'm telling you, screaming at your child doing homework is pointless. It's really pointless, and it does more damage than good in the long run for your child and you. You with your stress, but for your child academically. And that's why I say, if you are a grades K through 5 parent and homework is just taking too long, and you find yourself screaming, just angry and screaming, You're the angry parent, you're screaming. I get it. I totally understand. You're probably tired and frustrated, ready to go to bed. But there's another way other than screaming. And that way is learning your child's learning style. I'm telling you, it's worth it. It's super worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. And if you want help, right? If you're like, hey, I would love help learning my child's learning style, I'll be glad to help you. It's one of my favorite things to teach in the whole wide world. Like, I love teaching learning styles. It's super fun. It's super amazing. It's super creative and it's super dope. Like that I don't, your child has a style that they learn that is super unique to them, and it's gonna help them advance. And so, I love teaching learning styles. I love digging deep into who your child is and who you are, right? Who you are and who your child is, and how I can help you both build this amazing parent child learning relationship where homework is fun and engaging for you. And so I would love to help you. And if you want help, I'm going to put the link to how you can sign up for a session with me where we can talk about one, where your child is right now. I think that's important. I need to know that so I can best help you. Where you want your child to be, that's important too. That's super important. Like, what do you want for your child academically, right? And then what I can do to help your child achieve academic success. And so I'll drop the link in the comment section below. If you want to learn more about the program, that's also a way as well. Just click the link. I only have one session available for the rest of the week, though. And so please, if you want it, book it, because that's it. Yeah, I'm not going to open up any more sessions for the week, okay? And so please, please, please book it if you want that session, okay? And so that wraps up our time. I went over like almost 7 minutes, but thank you for staying with me. I pray that this class was transformative. I pray that you learned a lot. I pray it was transformational. I pray that you won't be screaming at your child doing homework. And I also pray if there's someone who wants help, anyone, any grades K through 5 parent who wants help, you want to learn your child's learning style, you kind of like really want to help them cut this homework time in half, make sure that you click the link in the comment section below. It'll be a great time for us to dig deep in how we can help you help your child like get super clear during homework time so they can get that work done. All right. I love you all, and we'll chat soon. Bye bye.